is Christmas Eve! Woo! I'm sitting here all festive. I've got my Christmas jumper on, my Christmas earrings, my Christmas nails, a little Santa there, a little cup of tea in my festive mug, surrounded by all my Christmas decorations and all my presents under the tree. The sun is shining. It is a good day. So time to go back in time to November. November was actually quite a good reading month for me. I started by finishing an audiobook that I had been listening to since June time. I find with audiobooks, especially if it's like a sort of a cozy mystery, I can just jump in and out whenever I want with it. I don't feel the pressure to listen to it loads. So I was listening to Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by... I forgot to make a note of the name. I'll leave the name here. I'm so bad with authors. I couldn't tell you who wrote what. Oh my gosh. I'd started this audiobook months ago and I'd been listening to it sort of on and off when I was doing things, but then I was making a long drive home and I just decided to put it on and listen to it for the majority of the drive, and by the time I got home I only had like a chapter or so to go, so I got it finished relatively quickly. I rated this book 4 stars. It was okay. I quite liked it as an audiobook. The story is about a woman called Vera Wong who runs a tea house, a tea shop, and one night a man is killed in her tea shop and the police rule it as an accidental overdose, I think, or it's an accident. They rule it as an accident to begin with. But Vera is determined and convinced that the man has been murdered. The book follows Vera coming up with lists of suspects, getting to know them, befriending them, bringing them all together. It's very found family. I quite like that. She had everyone together and she was befriending them and getting to know them while at the same time being like, that doesn't mean I still don't think you didn't kill Marshall. I quite enjoyed it. It was quite lighthearted. Like I say, I dropped in and out of it all the time, so it was quite easy to follow and I quite liked it, and the ending was quite good because I remember thinking, how is this all going to pan out, because we've gotten to know all these suspects and we know their stories and they all say they didn't do it, so who's done it? But it was actually quite good in the end. So I rated it 4 stars in the end, just because my ratings go 5 is like practically perfect in every way. I loved it. I can find 0 to no faults, or very few anyway, or I just didn't, there were faults that I just didn't care. 4 stars is that it was very good and I enjoyed it. It just wasn't quite perfect. And then 3 stars is when I start to go like, it was meh, it was okay, it was fine. 2 stars is, you were crap. And I don't think I've ever given a book 1 star. Maybe I have. I think there was one book, it was an ebook I was reading that I got for free, and I'm sure I gave it 1 star because it was bad. It was like a fairy tale retelling, like Once Upon a Time, but they're all criminals and they all used the word bitch every second word. And I should have known, because I'm pretty sure the title of the book was The Bitches of Ever After. I should have realised when there was a cuss word in the title that it was not going to be a good book. That was a lesson learned. The second book that I read was another book that I'd started 2 years ago. I remember reading it when I went away on a trip. I went up to Loch Lomond. I actually have a vlog on that, which I could link below. And I took it with me. And I was reading on the train and I was reading it while I was away. And it is The Diary of a Bookseller by Shaun Bythell. This book is, the title kind of explains it, but it is the diary of a bookseller. And he's actually my neighbour. Well, not anymore. He used to be my neighbour years ago. So he owns a bookshop in Scotland's National Book Town. It is the largest second-hand bookshop in Scotland or in the UK. I think it's in Scotland. Or at least it was anyway. I don't know if it still is. And this diary follows the day-to-day life of a bookseller and running a bookshop. And I think I enjoyed this a lot because it's set in my hometown. So I knew the characters, and also even the ones that he changed the names of, I was able to work out and guess who was who and who they were. So for me, it was really good because I'm sort of getting to see my own hometown through someone else's eyes and their different experiences. I feel like the people who love the idea of running a bookshop and think, oh, I'm going to read this because I think it might be insightful. It is, but I think it very much demonstrates the highs and the lows, and a lot of the lows of running a bookstore as we are changing as readers. He is very much anti-Kindle. He famously shot a Kindle with a shotgun and it is mounted on the wall in his shop. But I think it was a very good book, very insightful into the life of running a bookstore and how difficult it is and how much work they have to put in and how there are days where you get no customers, or you get customers that come in and they'll sit and they'll treat it like a library and they'll read books and then they'll leave them on the table and just wander out and they won't put things back. And I enjoyed it very much. Shaun is a very funny human, I think, and maybe a little bit of a grump at times, but that's just his personality and that's just who he is, and I find it quite funny. It's really good for those of you who think you want something that's not fiction and you want to see what it's actually like running a bookstore, because it ain't all sunshine and rainbows and you're making a mass profit. It's a lot of work, and it's traveling all around the country to go and do house clearances and a lot of selling online, and the characters in it are very like funny and quirky. Like I say, they're real people. I really enjoyed this. I also picked up the second book in the series because he's written a few of them, and I think it's the one that comes right after this one. This one was also signed. It was pre-signed when I picked it up. It was one of those ones where like they've already like signed it, but when I bought the second one, he was actually working in the shop and he signed it for me, so it's more personal because it's got my name on it. So, and I also love the fact that the cat, bless him, this was Captain. I remember when he was a little kitten and he used to come into my garden, and he was a cute little cat, and he very sadly is no longer with us, but I will always remember. I have countless videos of him walking across the main road, and there was times he would just sit on the road and cars would be like, peep peep, like, are you gonna move? He was quite funny, but also I think he looks like my cat, Pakeko, which is very sweet. But yeah, a very good book, and I very much enjoyed it, and I think you possibly would too. It just depends on your expectations. Like, this is not I find it quite cozy and quite humorous, but also it's not, if you think running a bookstore is really glamorous, this book kind of brings you back down to earth that it's not. It's a job and it's hard work, and if you want to make a living out of it, it is hard going. So, and also it was a nice little insight into behind the scenes and the running of the book festival, which we have every year, which is the last 2 weeks. It's the last weekend in September and going into October, and it runs for about a fortnight. It runs for 14 days, and it's like the busiest time of year in my hometown. It is the people that come for the book festival, they're like, oh my goodness, it must be so wonderful living in this town. And I'm like, you have not seen it the other 350 days of the year. It is dead, it is quiet. Tourism is on the rise, but it's still not, it's not that well known. Maybe that could be my job, put Wigtown on the map. The goal of this video is to film it all before my tea gets cold. Next up, we have The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I finally did it. I finally read it. I've had this book for about 2 years now. It's been sitting on my bookshelf, but I've always wanted to read it in October, November time, you know, cozy autumn, fall, seeing as it's called The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. And I did a full review on this, so I will leave a link to that down below that you can check out. But basically, the story is about Jeannie, who is gifted her aunt's cafe while she's away traveling. She meets Logan, who's this grumpy farmer. Emphasis on the grumpy, because he's really not. The first quarter of the book is them pining for each other. There's about 3 chapters of them being in a secret relationship. Then there's a fallout, then they get back together, and that's the book. Spoilers. This was probably my first romance book that I've read in a while that's just full on like romance. There was less spice than I thought there was going to be. I thought it was going to be all spice, given the name. However, I feel like the latter chapters definitely made up for the lack of spice in the first bit. And this book has made me realise that actually I don't mind spice. I always thought that I hated it and I never wanted to read it. I'm more of a fade to black kind of girl. I always feel a little bit uncomfortable reading it, but this book made me realise actually I don't mind it if it's semi-tasteful. Like, I'm not a 50 Shades of Grey kind of girl. I've actually never seen or read 50 Shades of Grey, so I don't really know anything about it, but from what I hear and can imagine, is it not like really smutty and like really like, I can hear my cat, and really like BDSM and all that? Either way, that's not me. That'll never be me. This, however, was quite tame and tasteful, and that was okay. So it's made me realize that I can enjoy spice if it's not like really over the top, and I know some people are into that. They like their spice off the scale. Me, I'm kind of down at the bottom. I'm like a 1 to 2. Like, give me just a normal human interaction that it's tasteful, it's realistic, and that I don't even need to keep talking about it. This book was okay. Would I read the rest of the series? Maybe. I don't know. I do this to myself where I read a book that I don't overly love, and then I just keep buying the next books in the series to torture myself because I think maybe it'll get better. But I hated the residents of Dream Harbor. That's where the book's set, Dream Harbor. They were absolutely wackadoodle. The main characters themselves were okay, actually. They were okay for once. So maybe I'd read the rest of the series if I could find them and pick them up and like... I hear something. I'm going to go investigate. I thought I heard a noise. He brought a freaking mouse in the house. I can't even say it was a Christmas present for me from him because he ate it. But yes, so that is the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. It was okay. I rated it 4 stars because even though it annoyed me for quite a little bit, it was actually not that bad. So, next up we have The Last Time I Saw Him by Rachel Abbott. Abbott? I'm not quite sure what's that name. 3 strangers, 1 dead husband. Celia, Julia, and Nadia are complete strangers with one thing in common. They've all been wronged by Ellis Cobain, a wealthy philanthropist on course for a knighthood. Ellis's public persona is bulletproof, but lurking beneath this veneer is a sinister side that only the women closest to him have seen. When they meet at a boutique hotel on the Cornish coast, they realise what connects them and form a pact to blackmail him and free themselves from his grasp. But when he is discovered the next morning, murdered in cold blood, they are left scrambling. None of them know who did it, and now they must desperately cover their tracks. Will one turn on the others when any of them could be next? I really enjoyed this book. I rated it 5 stars. I thought it was quite good. It was a multiple POV book. There was 4 POVs. There was the 3 women, and there was also a police officer. Because this book turned out to be the 3rd or 4th book in a series. It's the Sergeant Stephanie King series. And this is the 4th book in the series. So I didn't even realise that going into it. But it was fine. You didn't need to have read the others to understand it. But there was 4 POVs. One of them was Stephanie King, the police officer, and then the 3 others was the 3 women. I found it was quite good. It jumped back and forward, and you started to learn information from each POV, and you were trying to figure out then, like, what is, like, who's done it, what is the truth, and the twists along the way were pretty good. I didn't really see a lot of them coming. I think it was just, I didn't really see many of them coming, and in the end, I thought it was really good. I enjoyed this book. I thought the writing was well done. It was one of those, it was a quick and easy book. I started it on a train journey and finished it when I was back home. I only had a couple chapters to go and I just finished it. And I thought it was pretty good, so I gave it 5 stars. It was good. I liked it. Would I read more in the series? I don't know. Maybe. I'd definitely read more by the author though. I thought it was really good. So, just a good old mystery, a whodunit. I quite like it when you know that there's been a plot against somebody and then that person then turns up dead, because you're then like, oh my god, was it one of us? Like, did we do this? What happened? And lastly, we have The Girls Who Disappeared by Claire Douglas. This was my first book by Claire Douglas, but I definitely think I want to read more by her because this book, chef's kiss. It was good. I read this in like 2 days. I could have read it in a day, but I think I started it the night before my birth. I started it the night before my birthday. Read like the first couple of chapters. Read most of it. I read a lot of it that morning, and then that night, and then I finished it the next day. So technically it was 3 days, but I never really count that first night because I only read a couple of chapters. 3 girls missing. They are never seen again. What happened? 20 years ago, one rainy night, Olivia Rutherford is driving 3 friends home when a figure in the road causes her to swerve and crash. Regaining consciousness, she finds herself alone in the car. Her friends have vanished. Now, journalist Jenna Halliday visits the close-knit community of Staffordbury to persuade Olivia to talk and solve the mystery of the girl's disappearance, but Olivia won't speak. Is Olivia hiding something? Why are the people of Staffordbury so frightened? How many secrets can one small town hide? I will say, out of my few critiques of this book, I think the back of the book is a bit of an exaggeration, which I get it, because definitely that is the idea of a blurb, is to entice you to read the book. But sometimes I find if I then read a book and I'm like, it didn't say quite what it said on the back, I feel a little bit catfished, a little bit let down. But it wasn't really that bad. The only thing I will say is maybe just the whole like, why are the people so frightened? Like, the people are convinced that their town is haunted, but I wouldn't say that they don't act that frightened. And I thought as well when it said, but Olivia won't speak, I thought it meant she didn't talk at all. But they meant she won't talk to you about what happened. It was pretty good. We got multiple POVs in this one as well. We got Jenna and we got Olivia, and then there was another subplot that we were getting chapters from throughout. And to begin with, I couldn't make up my mind how it linked up, but then obviously all becomes clear in the end. It was pretty good. I did give it 5 stars. I found it was suspenseful. I did like, there was a bit of a thriller suspense to it. Do you know that way where it's like things are moving around, there's shadows in the dark. Does that make sense? Or like, yeah, like figures in the dark and shadows creeping up on her and spooky things happening. I quite like that. That's the only thing I like about thrillers over a mystery. For the most part, I would say I'm a cozy mystery. I love a mystery book over like a suspenseful thriller, because sometimes I find thrillers can veer on the side of psychological, or they can be a bit violent. And even though it's in a book and I'm not seeing it, if ever I read things of people being tortured or even assaulted, I don't like it, because I'm like, ugh, no, I don't like it. I don't like it. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. I read a book once where, I think it was a Harlan Coben actually, and there was characters that were torturing another character, and they were like breaking fingers and like bending limbs, and I was like, ugh. I hate reading about that kind of stuff. I hate thinking about it. So I'm not really a suspenseful thriller kind of person if it's going to be like that. But if it is more of like maybe someone stalking you in a more like supernatural type way, where it's like, I thought I saw somebody, or I thought I saw something, I thought I saw a shadow, I thought I saw this, I thought I saw a face at the window, things like that, that can be like, it's a little bit scary, but it's not full on like a stalker, but it's not like too, well, something like that like will keep me kind of like, ooh, like, is it a ghost? Is it a person? Who is it? Who's doing this? Who's doing this to us? I like that. So I did enjoy this. I think I would read more by Claire Douglas because it was pretty good. My only little kind of criticism, or it's made me realize when it comes to a lot of these books, I don't really want to say it out loud, because I don't really want to say it because it is a bit of a spoiler. This is a spoiler, so I'll spoiler warning if you don't want to know about elements to this book. But I think this has made me realize that when stuff like this happens, like there's an unexplained disappearance and you're like, oh my god, like what's going on and all that, and it's a very like suspenseful mystery up until the reveal, and then the reveal comes and it ends up being, oh, it was drugs, like it was drug dealers, it was this. I know it's probably one of the most common crimes possibly like in the country. Like it is when it comes to these like dodgy dealings and this person disappeared because they were up to no good. What was it? Drugs. Like they were drug dealing. They were involved with some dodgy people. They're drug dealers. I think I know it's realistic and true to life, but I think I would just like it more now if authors and even TV shows found ways to make better suspenseful villains and crime lords and put twists on it and have them do something else than just, oh, it's drugs again. Because I think when it's I know when it's such a big thing in the real world, I think I'm just bored of it in books. I'm like, oh, it's a drug dealer again. What kind of drugs is it? Cocaine? Heroin? I'm sort of just over it because I know it's such a big thing, but it's every time. Give me a villain like the Joker whose whole thing is just anarchy and creating chaos and blowing up buildings and whatever else. Just being a chaotic little queen just for the sake of it, because I get tired of it just being, oh, it's drugs again. It's drugs. Or it's money laundering. But the money has come from drugs, so it's a vicious circle. That's my only criticism now, is that I'm just like, I'm tired of it always being drug related. Why can't it be something else? Like, create your own crime. I feel like the world of books, you can do whatever you want with them. Come up with something really creative. Come up with a really creative scheme that people are doing. Even if it's like, do you know, like forged artwork, or I don't know, making fake diamonds. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. But come up with something creative and new for me, please, because I'm so tired of always being, oh, this really dodgy man that you don't want to mess with, he's a drug dealer. Like, okay. But anywho, apart from that, spoiler warning, spoiler over. Apart from that, the book was really good and I did enjoy it. And there were reveals at the end that I was just like, huh? There were some things that happened that I was a little bit like, okay. Like, I feel like that only happened for the sake of suspense. It felt kind of pointless a wee bit. But anywho, so that was all the books that I read in November. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one, whatever that may be. If you like what you see, you can subscribe to my channel, or you can follow me on any of my socials, which are in the description box below. My Instagram is Laura_lovesbooks, and my TikTok is just a dreamer 2. I plan in the new year to start posting more book content on my TikTok, I think, because I do love I love the old Booktok. I do. Even if sometimes the books they talk about are not quite for me. But anyway, so I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas and a happy new year. God knows when this video is going to go out, because, you know, it's that busy time of year. I'm already trying to get caught up on Vlogmas, so, but yeah, so bye.